The sky was heavy that morning, gray and low like it was mourning something I hadn't yet understood. I remember gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white, as I pulled into the driveway of the stone-walled vineyard where my daughter, my little girl, was supposed to say, "I do." The rain hadn't started, but it threatened, and I could feel it in my bones like a warning. I stepped out of the car with the bouquet in hand. White lilies, her favorite since she was 6. My suit was pressed, my shoes shined, and despite the tension that had been brewing for months, I still believed I had a place there. I believed she would want me there. I believed that no matter what had passed between us, a father doesn't get turned away on his daughter's wedding day, but I was wrong. I saw him before he saw me. Ryan, her fiancé. Tall, clean-shaven, with that practiced charm that had fooled most of the family. He was standing at the entrance to the garden venue, talking with one of the wedding planners. When he caught sight of me, his entire body stiffened. Then he marched, toward me like a man possessed. "You're not welcome here, Arthur," he said. No greeting, no pretense. Just steel in his voice and contempt in his eyes. I blinked, unsure I heard him right. "What did you just say?" "You heard me?" he said, stepping in front of me like a bouncer. "Leave. Now." For a moment, the world stopped. The guests hadn't arrived yet. The florists were still arranging the centerpieces. The air smelled of roses and tension. I felt a tremble in my fingers, not from fear, but from disbelief. I opened my mouth to protest, to ask why, but I could see it in his eyes. He wanted me gone. 5 minutes later, I was still standing there, frozen. Then the doors behind him swung open, and there she was. Lena, my daughter. She looked radiant. Nervous, beautiful, holding her wedding dress up as she hurried toward us. "Dad," she called out, confusion in her voice. She pushed past Ryan, her eyes searching mine. "What's going on?" Ryan turned to her, panic written all over his face. "I told you I didn't want him here." She stopped dead. "You what?" I took a shaky breath, staring at my daughter. "I didn't come to cause a scene. I just wanted to see you, to tell you I love you, to give you these." I held out the bouquet. Her lip quivered. I saw the war in her eyes, love and pain, duty and rebellion. But before she could say anything, Ryan grabbed her arm and muttered, "He's manipulating you again." Just like always. That's when everything shattered. She yanked her arm away. Don't you dare speak for me." The silence that followed was louder than thunder. She turned to me, her voice trembling. "Come with me?" And just like that, she led me inside, past the man she was about to marry. Or so we thought. To understand how we got there, I have to take you back 10 years. Back to the night I lost everything. Lena was 15 when her mother, my wife, Julia, died. Cancer took her in 7 ugly months. I did my best to hold it together for Lena, but the truth is, I shattered. I drank too much. Yelled too much. I didn't hit her. God, never that, but I wasn't present. And when I was angry. At the world, at myself, at fate. By the time Lena was 17, she had stopped trusting me. When I tried to help, she saw interference. When I gave advice, she heard judgment. It didn't help that I hated every boy she brought home, especially the last one, Ryan. He was 22 when she started dating him at 19. I knew something was off the first time I met him. He was all surface charm, compliments, and fake laughter. But behind his eyes, was control. Quiet, calculated control. I watched the way Lena started shrinking around him. She used to light up a room. But with him, she became quieter, unsure of herself. I tried to warn her, maybe too harshly. We fought. She moved out. For 2 years, we barely spoke. Then the wedding invitation came. That was the first olive branch. Now, standing with her in the bridal suite, just the two of us, she looked at me and asked the question that broke my heart. "Was he right about you?" I swallowed. Maybe. I wasn't a good father for a long time. I didn't know how to grieve and raise you at the same time. But I never stopped loving you. Not for a second. She wiped her eyes. "He told me you'd ruin today, that you'd make it about you. And did I?" I asked gently. She looked down, shaking her head. No. You showed up with flowers. We sat on the edge of the velvet couch. She held the bouquet like a lifeline. Then she told me what I'd feared for years. He makes me feel small. I keep trying to be the version of me he likes. But I don't know who that is anymore. I reached for her hand. You don't have to do this. Not for him. Not for appearances. Not even for the guests. You have one life, Lena. Don't spend it apologizing for being yourself. She sat there, quiet. Then she whispered, I don't want to marry him. We didn't speak for a minute. Then she stood, walked to the mirror, and looked at herself. I used to love this dress, she said. But now, I just feel like I'm wearing a costume. A knock at the door broke the silence. It was her best friend, Marcy. I could hear the nerves in her voice. Lena, we're starting in 15 minutes. Everything okay? Lena turned to me, then to the door. Tell them there's a change of plans. The next hour unfolded like a dream. She didn't run down the aisle. She walked, slowly, head high. Not to marry him, but to speak. The guests stared in confusion as she stood in front of the altar and said, I need to tell you all something. Her voice didn't shake. This was supposed to be a wedding, but it's going to be something else. It's going to be the first honest day I've had in years. She looked at Ryan, whose face had turned white. I love the idea of this life we planned, but I don't love the person I've become to make it happen. She turned to the guests. I'm calling off the wedding, and I'm not ashamed. I'm proud, because today I remembered who I am. The room was stunned. Some people gasped, others applauded. Ryan stood there for a moment, silent, stunned, before storming off through the garden path without a word. In the days that followed, the fallout was messy. Judgment from relatives, gossip from friends, but also healing. Real conversations between me and Lena, tears, laughter, long walks through the park like we used to. She moved into a small apartment with Marcy. Got a job teaching art to kids. And one day, while we were repainting her living room, she asked me, Do you think Mom would have been proud of me? I didn't hesitate. She'd be proud you walked away from something that didn't honor you. That takes guts. Lena smiled. Takes a stubborn streak. Wonder where I got that from. We both laughed. And in that moment, I knew the story wasn't ending with a wedding. It was beginning with a rebirth. So what's the lesson here? Sometimes the people who block our path are doing us a favor. Sometimes the worst moments, the public humiliation, the heartbreak, the last-minute no, are the ones that set us free. I went to my daughter's wedding expecting to be shut out forever. But 5 minutes later, I watched her walk away from a life that didn't fit and toward something far braver, the truth. And in doing so, she didn't just find herself. She found her father again.